This message presented by the NCHSAA and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the best dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. Welcome in to the program, ladies and gents. Don't forget we are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on the YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. It is another wonderful day in the neighborhood. Hopefully football's coming soon.
44 days.
I'm told that it's right around the corner.
44 days, baby.
44 days to the regular season?
No, that's until week 0 of college football. We're 56 days from week 1 of college, or the NFL.
Gotcha.
I was trying to put a positive spin on it, Tank.
Okay.
Look, you get one Big 12 banger in week 1.
For the Chargers this weekend.
Look, you get one week 0 banger. Iowa State, Kansas State, and Ireland. I mean, it's something. You know what it's better than? Watching an Indiana Fever game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's better than that. I'm sorry.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Why would you play that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Was that happening yesterday? Was that a thing?
Yeah. I literally had an after-work beer yesterday, and the Fever had already played. It was over, and Caitlin Clark had lost. I was like, it's 6:06.
Yeah, but it's the summer, I guess. I don't know. On a Wednesday? That seems odd to me. But okay, whatever. Do what you want to do. Anyhow, in real sports, the NFL training camp will open up for the rookies for the Los Angeles Chargers this weekend. They're only 2 days away till their rookies have to report to training camp. Most training camps won't begin until July the 22nd, I believe, is the day that everybody gets back.
That sounds right.
It's right. I guess it's close. I guess we're close. We're counting down the days today in honor of the upcoming football season, and since we're not really sure what the upcoming season is gonna bring for Threadbare Thursdays. Because we'll have other stuff to do.
I can confirm that Threadbare Thursday will kind of still happen, but not really.
Not in a way that you're used to. So today is your chance. Get in on the YouTube stream if you'd like to suggest a topic of discussion today. Anything that you've been wondering about, anything that we haven't talked about on the program, all of that. Who's laughing at me? Somebody's laughing at me in the chat. I don't know why. What did I say?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
Welcome back to the program, though, Jeremy. You missed a fun time yesterday with Chris Womack on a Womack Wednesday. Austin Dillon was on the program with us.
I was listening for a little period of time in between meetings yesterday.
You learn something new every day, and yesterday we learned that Austin Dillon has a PBR team. I didn't know that. The Carolina Cowboys professional bull riding team.
Oh, I thought it was a professional beer drinking team. I heard PBR and immediately went, gross.
No, he would have called you for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would be the Michael Jordan of a PBDR team.
But you had a good day yesterday down in the Greenville market, I hear.
I did. Yeah, I hopped on with John Ellis and Trey Falco with our sister station in Greenville, Richmond Weaver. We're coordinating some things to make our friends their friends and their friends our friends. So it's a team effort, synergy.
Good deal. Yeah. What was the main topic of discussion down there yesterday?
Creed.
Were y'all talking about the Indiana Fever game?
No, we were talking about Creed. In the opening segment, they took shots at Creed and Sam Darnold, and I went, okay, let me tell you something about you that you might not know. And it went down a rabbit hole. We had a guy named Creed call into the show. It was a day. I will tell you this. The view from outside the studio in Greenville is way better than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 11 stories high over Greenville. So you're looking out going, oh, look at the pretty city. You can see the mountains in the background. They're going up to North Carolina. And then in Asheville, I'm looking at, I don't know, Mark Starling hiding behind a bush. That's what I get in Asheville. If the window's even open at all.
And what, Mark? Is Mark hiding around bushes a lot lately?
He used to smoke right beside our window.
Gotcha.
So you'd see him out there with a Marlboro and just a fit of rage. That was what I saw out that window most of the time.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's him just puffing on that jewel, just sucking that thing dry.
I will say it's funny. When I first started at iHeart, we had like 11 Sagret smokers. Now we have a lot of Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruities and Miami Mints and Fruity Pebbles.
Not anymore because North Carolina hates fun.
We can work it out. I'm in Greenville once a week now. So you hit up that Venmo, bruh.
Oh, yeah. We had good discussion yesterday on the program about Big 12 Media Days getting underway. We've started our college conference previews. We'll be incorporating some local athletes into that as we move along throughout the process here.
That's funny. So you started with the Big 12?
Yeah.
That's funny. So I do a segment in the Southeast for Ingalls where I give out betting picks every week. And mine this week is on the Big 12, which may, by the way, be my two favorite bets, and they're in the same conference.
Okay.
I'm taking Texas Tech to win it at plus 700. Because, by the way, if you haven't seen what Texas Tech's done in the portal, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And if you play with them on College Football 26, you'll realize just how good that team actually is.
It's so realistic, right?
The defense is evil. Now, are they going to be able to score? I don't know. I think so. Now, they have a lot of offensive linemen. I don't know that they have a ton of skill position talent. They got a little, probably enough to win that. I'll tell you a stat about the Big 12 that I just learned. If you take the 4 Power 4 conferences that aren't the Big 12, grand total, they have, math is hard, 9 total teams that are under plus 1,000 to win their conference. The Big 12 has 6 by themselves. That's how congested that conference is.
It's wide open. So many contenders.
And if you want to throw a Tank Spencer special at West Virginia plus 7,000, Rich Rod's back. I mean, the good times are coming. They've already called me like, "Hey, you got 2 years left. Let's go. Let's do this."
I don't think they did.
You're not going to help us on the football field much, but we'll throw you on a partial Scully just to sit in the front row and hammer down Tudor's biscuits and cold beers.
You got that's a lot of hope for Rich Rod coming back to West Virginia. Does he have any horses? That's the question.
Did I tell you about my my little infarction over the weekend with a Instagram influencer?
You had an infarction?
I had a. It wasn't a confrontation per se.
Okay.
It was a spirited disagreement. Some food influencer, and his shtick is trying excrement across America so you don't have to. He went to Tudor's in West Virginia, and he talked smack about our sausage. Okay. And I went, I just replied with, "It's not my fault you don't know what sausage is supposed to taste like. It's not my fault that you went to the greatest biscuit company in the whole world and went, I mean, it's good. Nah, dog, you're good. That's great."
Tudor's? Like farts. Like you get fart biscuits in West Virginia.
Not toot. Tood. T-U-D. Tudor's.
Oh. Okay. Tudor's biscuits.
Don't worry. Okay. I believe there's a date that goes through the great state of West Virginia on the tailgate tour. You finna learn.
Tudor's Biscuit World.
Oh yeah.
It looks like Shoney's food.
Yeah. Hey,
it's not a slight.
I was about to say, you know how many people have told me, man, I really miss the Shoney's buffet. Of course you do, because it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And we didn't talk about cholesterol and superfoods and living past 60. And we just lived, damn it. Look, we lived.
They even have McGriddle for you.
Yeah, they do.
Can you ask them to put a little bit of spicy mayonnaise on that for you?
Uh-huh. You sure can. You sure can, because Tudor's is awesome.
Do you have spicy mayonnaise for my pancakes, please?
You don't have spicy mayonnaise? Well, do you have mayonnaise? Do you have hot sauce? Guess what? You have spicy mayonnaise. Some assembly required.
But don't put that on your pancakes. Again,
for sure put that on your pancakes.
Weird. It's a weird thing to put on.
You are a bad fatus. Yes. I, on the other hand, am the white trash cowboy. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, mayonnaise and pancake syrup do not mix.
I forgot to tell you that was
I didn't think I had to explain that.
That's my new nickname in Greenville, the white trash cowboy.
What? The white trash cowboy.
The white trash cowboy. And we're going to start a tombstone repossession business called the White Trash Cowboys.
Don't do that, Jeremy. That's evil.
What?
Tombstone repossession.
Oh, it happens, bro. It straight up happens.
Which is sad.
It is sad.
Not something that you should become predatory at.
Somebody's got to repossess them, Tank.
Any mullet repo business would be very predatory.
Bro, every repo business is a mullet repo business. They all have one. It might not be the owner, but they have at least one employee that looks strikingly like me.
Yeah. That is very true. That I will say that is a fact. Maybe the truest statement that you've had on the program so far today. Yeah, football. This is the fun time in the football season where everybody goes, what are we going to do? How about a top 25 list about something? Was going over earlier today the worst hires of the last, for this century, so for the last 25 years, the worst hires in the NFL. Jeremy Greene's team has 3 of them, which feels like you should probably have more.
We've had 3.
Rob Saleh wasn't a complete waste.
No, or I wouldn't have Rob Saleh on that list. I would, however, have Al Groh, Bill Belichick, Adam Gase, Bruce Coslett, Lou Holtz. And don't forget that I was there for a while.
Lou wasn't. That wasn't in the last 25 years.
It doesn't matter. I don't care your caveat. Lou Holtz should be on every bad hire NFL list ever. He tried to give the Jets a fight song. He's the winner. Yeah, I'm probably staying with those 5.
Yeah, those are all good ones. Bill Belichick was 1B on the list that I was reading. The ultimate worst hire ever of the last 25 years was Urban Meyer to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I don't think anything went as spectacularly bad as that did. I mean, immediately. I mean, that went, we're showing up to training camp and going, oh, God, this was a bad idea. Why did we do this? He's already kicking players and yelling at people. This is not going to go well. Bobby Petrino was a great one for the top 5. You forget just how bad some of the hires over the last 25 years have been. When Adam Gase popped up at 12 on this list, and Jeremy and I both went, no, that's way too low. It may be too low, but it's not way too low, because even Adam Gase wasn't Hugh Jackson bad.
He's pretty close.
Even Adam Gase wasn't Nathaniel Hackett bad.
That one I'll give you.
Jim Tom Sula. Marty Morningweg.
Yeah, Jim Tom. You know what Jim Tom Sula does now?
Who didn't even win a damn game.
Do you know what Jim Tom Sula's career path is now?
Oh, what is he doing?
Tombstone repossessions.
Tombstone.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's what he's doing now.
Oh man, it shouldn't be surprising to anyone though that the same teams keep showing up on this list over and over and over again. Hell, the Cleveland Browns had their own, and I feel like this was way too low. They lumped in Romeo Crennel, Eric Mangini, Pat Shurmur, Rob Chudzinski, and Mike Pettin all into one and ranked at 25. All of that ranks like 4 on the list. The fact that you had that bad of a stretch of a decade of dudes who just sucked on ice. And it should be no surprise that the same organizations show up on this list over and over and over again. The Raiders have a couple of submissions here. The Bucks obviously have we got at least one on the list with Greg Schiano. Raiders, Jaguars, Browns, Lions. Obviously things have changed there. The Broncos with McDaniels and Hackett, both in the top 5. And the New York Jets. Man. When can we find the next, or where can we find the next Detroit Lions? Where's the next one of these losers that's going to break out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because we've had the Lions, we've had the Texans, we've had the Lions. Who's the next one? Maybe we'll take a break. We'll debate it when we come back here on ESPN Asheville.
Now is the time for.
And we're clear.
Cheer a little louder as the
You're super delayed,
Atlanta
just so you know.
Braves start chopping their way back.
Fly ball to deep right, way back and gone. Home run, Ozuna Arena. Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station. ESPN Asheville.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
September 19th and 20th, streaming live only on Hulu. 15 artists, 2 nights, 1 stage. Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Get your laundry Vegas ready with Arm & Hammer Power Sheets. Just toss in a detergent sheet. No drips, no plastic jugs, no mess. Arm & Hammer is a proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Clean up before you turn up. Shop Arm & Hammer Power Sheets now.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
All right, if you're building your perfect summer playlist, just open the iHeartRadio app because we've got all the summer vibes you need. We have every playlist and station you could want for pool days, road trips, beach hangs, all of it. Plus, Dollywood Radio is now on iHeartRadio. Yes, the park you know and love has its own radio station. So yeah, your summer soundtrack, we got it handled.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we're Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step, with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
Back on ESPN Asheville, it is the Sportsocracy. Bad organizations are just, it's hard to flip an organization. You got to have so many things go right. You got to hire really, really well. There has to be almost, well, I won't say almost. There has to be at some point a break in the cycle of bad ownership. Something that, the Cincinnati Bengals can't get out of. We're seeing this every day, right? Still with Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart, and you find a way to try to get yourself out of it, right? You can go out and you can find the perfect quarterback and you can find the perfect weapons. You find a coach if you. I don't think too many people think they have the right coach there, but you can have some success. But if your organization is in shambles, if there's no good leadership at the top, it's going to be hard to flip that. Detroit found a way. somehow Houston stumbled into a way. I'm still kind of blindsided how we went from Nick Caserio's an idiot to he's a genius in 1 year, but you hit on some draft picks, and that's gonna happen. Who's the next one to break out, though?
Well, I feel like we have to put some parameters on this. So okay. I have the record of every team in the NFL for the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. First of all, fun story. Who has the best record in the last 10 years?
Best record in the last 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's probably the Chiefs.
123-41. Who's two?
San Francisco?
San Francisco is not in. San Francisco has the 13th worst record of the last 10 years.
Really?
Yep. 10 years a long time, bro. Especially when Kyle Shanahan's your coach and you win 6 games every other year.
Don't stop.
That wasn't an opinion. They've won 6 games in 5 of the last 10 seasons. That wasn't a shot. That was a straight fact.
Is it still the Patriots?
Nope. Patriots, as bad as they have been the last handful of years, they still have like the 9th best record in the last 10 years. Tom Brady hasn't played there in 5 years. You're still in the top 10. No, 2 is the Pittsburgh. It's basically a tie. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. How many games have they won in the last 10 years? Kansas City was at 123.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, say 101.
That's exactly right. 101 and 62. Kansas City is 22 games better than every team in the NFL in the last 10 years.
I'll believe it. I believe it. That one was easy. The others, not so much. Although, I mean, I would imagine that Baltimore's probably up there pretty high. Baltimore
is tied for 5th with the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm. They knew the Packers were going to be up there. Ooh, then it probably gets fun from there.
There are a few fun ones here. There are a few that I would not have thought.
Like the Seahawks?
Seahawks are 7.
Uh-huh. The Chargers?
Chargers have the 14th worst record in the last 10 years.
14th worst? Okay.
The others in the top 10, the Vikings are 6. The Eagles are 8. The Patriots are 9, not 8. Sorry, I added that wrong. And the Saints are 10.
10 years is a long time. 10 years is a long time.
Now go the other way. And the other way, I'll go ahead and tell you, the other way is much easier to figure out.
Oh, I'm sure. Chicago Bears.
5.
Tennessee Titans.
Wow, you're bad at this.
Probably not going to be that low.
Yeah, they have the 15th best.
I forgot about the Vrabel years. 15th best?
Yeah, you should literally have been able to do this in order without thinking about it all that hard. Jaguars, Jets, Giants, Browns, Bears, Panthers. Cardinals at 7. You tell me where the surprise in that was.
Yeah, no.
And the first 4 are 6 games worse than every team in the league.
So is it the Raiders? Are we on the Raiders?
The Raiders are 8.
Figure this out.
The Raiders, and that's why I said we had to put a caveat on this, because the Raiders are 8 at 72 and 92. The Commanders are 9, and the Broncos are 10, and I don't think any of the 3 of them should count. Because, yes, you haven't been good, but you're not bad. Like, really, at no point have they been bad. You've had some bad record years. But I wouldn't put any of those 3 teams with the Jets. The Jets and the Jaguars and the Giants and the Browns and the Bears, I think you 5 are in a class all all by your lonesome.
Mm-hmm. So what's your answer?
If one of them's going to break out in the next, how long do I get?
Do what?
So if one of them's going to break out, I mean, I'm sure you're not asking me for this year because none of them, it would be the correct answer.
No. This is who's the next one to right the ship.
I will say this is going to sound strange because they might be the worst team on this list. I still think it's the Browns.
But how?
The trade for the Travis Hunter trade is a great start because now you got 2 first-round picks next year. And I don't know if you've ever looked at the history of teams with multiple first-round picks. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked how often both of them are awful. But you'd also be reasonably shocked how many times teams will like double up on Pro Bowlers. And that changes a lot. Mm-hmm. I would also argue 2 to 53, the Browns have not the best roster in that. That would be the Bears. I think the Bears are cursed by the devil. I mean, to me, the Bears and the Jets, I don't care what you do. You could tell me that the AFC Pro Bowl team was playing for the New York Jets next year, and I'd still go 7-10. How? Jets. Jets gonna jet. I'm officially to the point of now I'll even say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least there's that.
I'd take the Browns over the rest of them. Now, the Panthers and the Cardinals are also pretty easy answers because I don't think they're as bad as the other 5. I don't think they're as good as the Raiders, Commanders, and Broncos organizationally, but I don't put you in that dregs of the dregs.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the Broncos being organizationally sound. I mean, for the last, year? They have been. Of course, now that Elway's gone, I guess that's not really a problem.
But the Broncos aren't that's not a bad franchise. There's a huge difference between a team that has a bad couple years and a bad franchise.
I mean, I guess.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are a bad franchise. You've had, 4 good years in 30? That's a bad franchise. Cleveland Browns, bad franchise. Mm-hmm. New York Jets, bad franchise. New York Giants, and there's one that somebody will push back, but they won Super Bowls. Okay.
So?
Pete Davidson dated an ugly girl one time. He didn't mean to.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense the other way. Pete Davidson should be married to a woman that looks like me, but he's not.
Precisely. No.
I actually just realized that the New York Giants are the Pete Davidson of the NFL. You've been good at times, and I can't explain at what or why.
Washington Commanders, they're pretty high on that list for me. But it takes a radical change, right? See, I think the tide has already shifted, right? They're already on the path. And if I had to pick one, I would probably say I would think that the Chicago Bears would be the next one. But it's never
can't believe it.
before.
I love Ben Johnson. I love him to death. I think he is a brilliant offensive mind. And I still look at the Chicago Bears and go, nope, you built Soldier Field on an old ancient Indian burial ground, and you are not allowed to win squat. Because somebody in the clouds has their thumb on the scale.
You can have that flash in the pan, maybe, because there was that one miracle year. But other than that, you're doomed to be bad
Are you what are you talking about, the Grossman year?
Yeah.
They had the one miracle year that they got to the Super Bowl, and then other than that, the only time they've ever been any good was when Hurricane Ditka was running the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But as time goes on, new people get in charge, smart decisions are made, and maybe they're going down the path. Maybe Ben Johnson is just the first in a long line of really good decisions that will bring the Chicago Bears back to at least some type of relevance.
I hope one of those good decisions will be at quarterback, because they have a graveyard of bad decisions.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll talk coaches when we come back here on a Threadbare Thursday.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
On into the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to be in the forecast, and maybe some heavier rainfall in spots.
I lost that comment. Somebody had said who's going to be the next coaches.
Thunderstorms early.
Oh, yeah.
Who's in the next class of coaches?
Yeah, I want to. I think it was Stephen Tao asked me if we could go deeper on the top 5 coaches and what separates them. We'll do that at the top of the next
Taco
hour.
Bell. Crispy chicken's better in a Taco Bell talk.
Yeah, that works.
From the power rankings the other day.
Try Taco Bell's new crispy chicken taco and or burrito today.
Oh, yes.
In Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
What did Soaring Eagle send you on Twitter?
iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for
give
radio.
me a minute, I'll tell you.
The free iHeartRadio.
What's your
buying or selling a home doesn't
outside story?
Stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to
Dallas Turner.
investment opportunities.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I've got
one.
the experience and the tools.
Oh, the story he sent me about Dion was that they have
at 828-774.
they only have 5 commits in the 2026 class, and they're like 101
I'm your
overall.
trusted realtor. I'm making moves.
Bar none, the worst of any
In the
Power 5
aftermath of
school.
Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors.
Yeah, we
learned
can
in
t-
desperate
we can talk
times
about
one of
that.
the best
Did he
things to have
super chat
around
that?
is a redneck with so hence him bitching about money.
Yes.
Boys in general, when you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like you make.
For some reason, my chat is running at like a complete delayed stream.
The Chainsaw Brothers are still
I'm not
here
seeing anything
making
in
it
real
happen
time.
The right way. Fair, insured, and local. Tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday Night Rivals, televising...
Yeah, that's a super chat. We'll hit it after we...
Okay, I can't see it, just so you know.
Do outside.
At your minor league...
All right, I got it pulled up.
Ag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. It is the Sportsocracy. And here, so we say this a lot about stories with athletes of, I don't understand how this keeps happening, right? With, guys driving drunk, guys getting in trouble, guys, outing themselves on social media by, giving out, pink bags of drugs on boats and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand how this keeps happening. But I do think at some point we all need to come back to the ultimate understanding of, well, they are athletes, and athletes are not always smart. And by that, I'll give you the story of Dallas Turner. Minnesota Vikings outside linebacker Dallas Turner has allegedly been the victim of a bank fraud scheme that resulted in the theft of $240,000 from his bank account. So, Eagan, Minnesota police did the investigation, and they say through our investigation, several suspects have been identified and that they are working toward criminal charges to hold them accountable. Said that $2,500 of the dollars of the stolen funds have been returned to Evans, but they're still working on the rest of it. How this went down was somebody called Dallas Turner's phone from saying that they were from J.P. Morgan Chase and that someone was attempting to impersonate him at a Chase Bank branch in Arizona, and that person had presented 2 copies of ID to execute a wire transfer. And he said, how much? And they said, $240,000. And if you want to stop this from happening, then you're going to need to go to 2 separate Chase Bank branches and transfer $120,000 at each one of those bank branches, one to Island Food Truck LLC and the other to CNLFL LLC.
Okay, now I do have to. I do have to stop you here.
Turner go.
I have to stop you here. So I read this. I read this the same way you did. Then I did a little digging. He didn't know who he was transferring the money to. He was given a routing number. It's not like he went, "Hey, I'm going to transfer this to Island Food Truck Company." It was an encrypted routing number.
There's that.
I read it the exact same way you did.
Of this story,
I read that the exact same way.
How in the world? But still, honestly, somebody from Chase Bank calls you and says, hey, you need to stop this person from taking out money by transferring money in 2 separate accounts to these 2 separate routing numbers, even without the names of the food business, of the businesses, of the food truck and the other one. How do you do that?
Well,
and how do you do that without running that by somebody first?
Well,
like the end of the story here says that this came out to a family member. So what I imagine is he was sitting around with Uncle John at the July 4th bash that he was throwing, and started saying, oh, this is crazy. Having so much money is just so hard because sometimes people just try to take it. And then he wove this little story, and Uncle John's over here going, dude, you're so stupid. Why did you do that?
You ever see? You ever set $250,000 on fire?
Brain.
Hey, Dallas, you ever set $250,000 on fire? Because you just did. This is also a great time for me to give a PSA that I've been waiting to give for quite some time. There's a scam actively going around about the DMV. The DMV's calling people because you've got unpaid tolls and you're going to lose your license and all of those things.
Yes.
I can stop that scam in 2 sentences. When did you give the DMV your phone number? Oh, you didn't? Yeah, because they don't have it. So how'd they get it, bruh? What, you think they tracked it down? The DMV only sends things through the mail because your address is the only thing attached to your card. That's the one where I go, how'd you not do the math on that? At what point when you got your driver's license did you go, here's my phone number? Oh, then where did they get it?
Call me whenever you want.
Yeah, then where did they get it, bruh? My story is about
that really fine DMV employee that I gave my number to that one time. But other than that,
let me guess, 5'6", 235. I don't have a bill. There it is. My story is about the Fighting Adam Golds, the Carolina Hurricanes. I didn't know this, but the city of Raleigh is trying to get an expansion Major League Baseball team. Did you know that? I broke Tank. I broke Tank. I didn't mean to.
To talk about that for years.
I did not realize that there was actually a committee that had formed to get a minor league or to get a Major League Baseball team to Raleigh. Now, I have a couple questions. A, why would you want a Major League Baseball team? Like, if you're not the Atlanta Braves, why would you want? If it's not a hallmark franchise, have you watched an Oakland A's game lately? Like, all you got to do is call them and go, we'll give you a home, where more than 8 people will show up, and they will just show up with moving vans on Tuesday. Anyway, the MLB Raleigh campaign has joined Nashville, Orlando, Charlotte, handful of others in trying to get a Major League Baseball team. Well, MLB Raleigh came up with an idea. We're going to combine our joint forces with Carolina Hurricanes. That's the one Major League franchise that's in Raleigh, and we're going to collab with them to try to get the word out that Raleigh deserves a Major League Baseball team. Well, to do that, they've collaborated on a hat. It's a vintage hat. And on our YouTube stream, I'm going to put a picture of this hat up. And it's important that you know that this was conspired by the Carolina Hurricanes, because that's going to be an important tidbit here in just a second. So the hat itself is a interlocking C and an H, representing the Carolina Hurricanes. What does that look exactly like?
It looks like a minion.
It looks like a what?
It looks like a minion, like one of those from the Despicable Me movies.
Oh, it does if you turn it sideways. I didn't get what you were talking about at first. If you turn your head, it totally does.
Yeah.
It looks like a Frankenstein minion. Because it would have little eyes right there in the middle. It looks exactly like the Montreal Canadiens logo, because it is the Montreal Canadiens logo. How at no point did somebody go, I think I've seen this before. I believe I have seen this exact same logo before.
Yeah, the interlocking C and the H.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the design is cool, especially the one that's got the little red spots in the middle. But you kind of you stole that. That's not an original. It's not an original design.
I mean, but they don't. I mean, the Montreal Canadiens don't own the C and the H.
No, but they own their logo.
I mean, it's. Yeah, but that doesn't look anything like their logo.
Oh, really? It doesn't look anything like their logo. Ooh, Tank, I see. Divert your eyes back to the YouTube screen, and I'm going to put the Canadiens logo up, which looks exactly like that. The only difference is that the H doesn't go all the way over it, but it's the exact same concept. If I can get it on.
Again, it's interlocking C and an H. You can't really do that much differently.
Sure. Oh, I'm going to put it over Tank's face. Boop. Montreal Canadian Tank.
Yeah, see, that doesn't look anything like that.
I think it does.
Similar letters interlocking in completely different fonts.
Now I just
not even logoized. Really.
Now I just want to put random logos over Tank's face when he irritates me.
I do like the fact that it's got the hurricane flag though in the design. I think that's a nice touch. You shouldn't go just black and white, because then it looks like a minion. But if you give it some color, You put the little red squares in the flag, then that version of the hat's not bad. It's got that kind of throwback classic, like, and when I say classic, I mean like dead ball era classic baseball look to it. But stop, because no, we don't need Major League Baseball expansion, and we don't need a baseball team in North Carolina. I just don't see much success for that. I never have.
Neither have I.
The Atlanta Braves own this area.
And they always will.
Peeling away. Like you talk about Atlanta, you talk about baseball fans in general. What is the worst part about baseball fans? Or what the worst thing about the populace that watches baseball? They're old. And they're dying off. And the audience is getting smaller and smaller every year. You honestly think that you're going to get a new foothold in with these Atlanta Braves fans that have been Braves fans since the 1960s? I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. I feel like that is like one of the worst professional sports expansion ideas out there. And I know that sounds like sacrilege coming from a North Carolina guy, right? Like, oh, Tank, you're a North Carolinian. You should want us to have all of the nicest things. Well, I mean, I'd like for you to have a football team that is actually good more than, once every 5 years. How about let's have an NBA franchise that doesn't suck? Something that we haven't had since like 1993. Show me you can do other professional sports well, and then maybe I'll get more on board with, maybe we can have a baseball team. But for now, I feel like Major League Baseball in the state of North Carolina, as odd as it may sound, I feel like it would kind of be out of place. Because that's not really our thing. Our identity as a state, when it comes to baseball, has always been in minor leagues. That's our thing. Every town has their own team. I know it's not something that the big business wants to hang their hat on, but I just don't know that. I feel like it's a failed idea from the very start. Put it in a bigger city somewhere where more people would be interested. Of course, I said the same thing about hockey. That's a dumb idea. Why the hell are you going to put a hockey team in the state of North Carolina? But apparently it's worked out for them, so they're making money. That's actually the only pro franchise that we have that's any good. Sorry for my little rant there.
It was. Tank, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a great, prolific rant, and I spent the entire time putting old mascot heads on your head.
Did you now?
I did.
Was it fun for you?
It was.
Nice.
It was. I didn't get through all the ones that I wanted to do, but I did. I had some fun. You were Yusuf, the Appalachian State Mountaineer, at one point. Or Yosef.
Yosef, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Yusuf Nurkic. Not that guy.
Nope.
Yosef.
Yep. You were Peter Griffin at one point. You were a lot of stuff, to be really honest with you.
Awesome.
You went on a rant about baseball, and I got bored.
You started it.
I did.
Not my fault.
I did, and then you took it way further than I was prepared to. And so I started playing, as I am known to do, because I am a child.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple of super chats to get here too. You so flustered me. Soaring Eagle with the super chat here says he sent you something on Twitter a few days ago about Dion's recruiting.
Yes, they have.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Yeah, they have 5 or 6 recruits committed for 2026. They're dead last among Power 4 schools, and they're 101st overall. Bill Workman said they're behind Liberty and Western Kentucky. And this is a great time to echo what he said. We tried to tell you this. The Deion thing will wear thin quickly, especially when you see his son fall like a rock. Because people are going to get smart and go, oh, you know what? That Deion thing doesn't work. Because he was a great player, but he's not a great coach. And here we are.
And lo and behold, it only took that long. Actually, I am kind of surprised, though. I thought maybe there would be some more money in the coffers to get him a few more commits. Apparently, it didn't go that way. He went to Big 12 Media Days and starts complaining about, oh, well, then we need a salary cap because this is, all the same teams are going to be there in the end if you just keep letting them all buy all the talent. I do find it odd that the same guy who once played for the New York Yankees is throwing talk around about a salary cap, but I guess he should know more than anybody. It says the NCAA football is so much more like the NFL now than it ever has been, obviously with the money involved, that now we need to adopt all the NFL rules as well, which I've always been in favor of. 2 feet in, all that kind of thing. Like, I feel like we know enough about the game that we can make it level, right? Shouldn't we do that? Shouldn't we make all the rules pretty static across the levels?
I mean, you would think so.
Yeah, I've always felt that way about college basketball, too. Why the hell do you play 2 halves still? Why are we not? Everybody else plays 4 quarters. We got another super chat here from Sir Jimothy. Says he's just hopping on, heading out to Girton. Much love to everybody up that way. He says, I'll stay in until I lose the signal, but thank y'all for being y'all, including the fans. Always happy to see Sir Jimothy pop in on the YouTube stream. All right, that was 2 days ago, on the Power Ranking Tuesday, Jeremy, you and I went through the power rankings of the coaches for the 2025 NFL season. We were asked for some clarification, right? That we'll get to here after the top of the hour?
Yes, about the top 5 and what differentiates them. And it was a little bit deeper conversation. It was from Stephen Tao, and he pointed out that we did that thing we always do, of we argue about the turds, and then we get to the good ones, and we have to speed through them because we're running out of time. That's a good point. I made a note of it right after the show on Tuesday to revisit it on Thursday, so that's what we're going to do.
Exactly. When we return here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
I'm a child.
Your mountain weather forecast.
On into the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to be in the forecast, and maybe some heavier rainfall in spots, maybe an isolated stronger storm. And again, it looks like that best chance is going to be east. 85. Tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight, partial clouds with some fog by morning. 65.
It is so
Friday,
hot
fog,
in my office
shower,
right now.
Likely showers and thunderstorms midday into the afternoon. 85. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajan.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Boot Barn, we believe the cowboy boot is the foundation for a life well lived. We work, we raise, we break bread, and tomorrow it starts again. This life requires a boot that supports perseverance. Ariat boots undergo 150 steps to ensure performance. Boot Barn carries over 250,000 Ariat boots nationwide, because out west, tenacity is second to none. Ariat at Boot Barn.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Join for free today and get ready to save more. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Folks, I hope you're ready. Coming up next month, the best party ever to hit Cox Avenue. It's the Big Wiener Party at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue. Saturday, August 9th from 2 to 6 on the South Slope. 9 teams will compete, topping 2,700 hot dogs and only one Royal Wiener. Hosted by food stars The Vulgar Chef and The Food in My Beard, with local celebrity judges and comedians from the Asheville Comedy Festival, all for a good cause, supporting Link for Life's free mental health counseling for Asheville's food and beverage workers. Tickets are on sale now.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need, with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. It is a threadbare Thursday here in the Sportsocracy as we continue to trudge our way toward the promised land, which is football season. Actual football news to discuss. From our Power Ranking Tuesday, we had the discussion of the power rankings of the 32 head coaches in the NFL for the 2025 NFL season. And, you know, here's the thing. It's more fun to talk trash about people than it is to just wax poetic. I feel like that's why, Jeremy, you and I always do that thing on a Power Rankings Day where we get into what's wrong with the bad teams or the bad coaches or the bad organizations rather than just, you know, waxing on and on about how great Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs or John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens are, or so on and so forth. But Stephen Tao had asked for a little bit of clarification, I guess, on the top five, because I think his question, Jeremy, about the list was a lot in line with mine, which was, how did you get to Jim Harbaugh's better than John Harbaugh?
Because the question was asked of if the way the power ranking worked was if I was picking a coach to win this year, what order would I put them in? And I would take Jim Harbaugh to win this year over John because I think Jim's a better coach. I think John's a better program builder. I think John's the one that can stay in a place for 17 years and it just runs like a top. Jim can't do that. Jim wears people out, which is kind of evidenced by if you look at his coaching record, he doesn't stay anywhere for a real long time. I mean, yeah, he was at Michigan for 9 years, but he was the Michigan man. They gave him everything he wanted. Every other coaching destination, he's never stayed anywhere more than 4 years. He wears people out. But he wins. And he wins, and he wins, and he wins, and he wins, and he wins.
Well, I mean, the place that he didn't last was San Francisco because he had the run-ins with the front office.
He didn't last in San Diego. He didn't last in Stanford. He didn't last in San Francisco, and he won't last here because he wears people out. Jim Harbaugh is so damn intense. When I did Game On yesterday, one of the discussions we had was talking about the quarterback show on Netflix. And if you could pick any coach to follow around, what coaches would you want on that show? I immediately said Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel, because they're both crazy people, and I would like to watch them drink people under the table everywhere they go. John Ellis was really high on following around Jim Harbaugh, and I went, I don't think that would be as much fun as you think. Because I think he's going to be like somebody's grandpa and just playing catch until it gets competitive, and then he's going to want to punch you in the face. Because that's who he is. I don't think he's a very likable guy. I don't think he would be fun to hang out with. I think John would be way more fun to hang out with. But if you're talking, I got to win for 1 year, it's Jim. To me. Now, that doesn't mean Jim's a better hire. It doesn't mean Jim's a better anything, because I think John is the program builder. He has put something together in Baltimore that I think is really, really impressive, which is he has figured out through multiple iterations, whether it was Joe Flacco or now with Lamar Jackson, that's winning two completely different ways. And as I thought about this more, I think it steers into the fact John's not an offensive or a defensive guy. He was a special teams coach. John hires really, really, really well because he's not beholden to anything. You don't have to run his offense. You don't have to run his defense. He looks at the team. When openings happen, they always go, especially defensively, with guys that were on the staff to keep that in place. That's a whole different world from what we really see anywhere else, because you don't see many guys get hired that way. Most coaches get hired because they have a really elite offensive system. So an offensive coordinator goes away, it's going to be somebody off his tree because you have to keep implementing the same system that he runs. John Harbaugh has none of that. And I'll be honest with you, the more I thought about this, the more I'm shocked that nobody else has gone down this rabbit hole of hiring a CEO type like John who's not beholden to their scheme.
I think, to me, that's part of John's specialty, though. I mean, that's what makes him special, I think, is the fact that, so you're saying you're taking Jim over John because he's better at the X's and O's? Am I following that right? Am I pigeonholing that correctly?
I think Jim is a better in-game situational coach. I think John is a better long-term CEO, program builder, but that wasn't the question that I was asked. The question I was asked was power rank the coaches for 2025. When I hear that, I go, okay, in order, these are the guys I would pick to win a game, a month, a season, a Super Bowl. And that's what I did. I get the same team. What coach in order would I pick for this upcoming year? Now, if you're asking me who are the best hires in the NFL, John Harbaugh is. Ooh, that one's fun. Because now I'm debating him and Sean McVay, and I think I want to have him over McVay. So I think I would have John Harbaugh at 2 there.
Right. The top 5 coaches for 2025 for us were not different. I don't think they were different. I think our ranking of them might have.
You didn't have Vrabel as high as I did.
Different. You didn't. You had Vrabel at 5, and I did not. I had Dan Campbell in my top 5, who was your 6. So.
Yep, Campbell was my 6. But
Vrabel was the only wild card there.
And so, and I want to elaborate on something that Tao asked in our YouTube chat. Is Nick Sirianni really your 8th best coach? Nick Sirianni, Dan Campbell, and Mike Vrabel to me they're eerily similar. And Sirianni was my 9, just to be clear. They're kind of eerily similar because they're really motivational guys. I don't know that they're great X's and O's wise. Vrabel and Campbell hire really, really well. Sirianni has at times, but when it goes badly, it goes really badly. Sirianni's just to me, Sirianni's a whole case study that we could talk about this for 2 hours because he's been a tale of like 4 different coaches in the handful of years he's been in Philadelphia. Because you remember he went down the Brian Johnson, Pat Matricia route, and all of a sudden that team went into the toilet. They were awful. They still finished 11-6, but they were terrible. You would watch them week in and week out, it would make me want to pull my hair out. Like if I was an Eagle fan, I would have wanted to strangle him with my bare hands. Because his team's got too much talent for you to do that. But then you get last year, it's the same group of guys, but he's got Vic Fangio to kind of rein him in. And then Sirianni, I think, is a good coach because he can relate to the players. Players love him. When we talked to those Eagles guys at the Super Bowl, they waxed poetic about Nick Sirianni and how much they loved him and they wanted to run through a wall for him. That doesn't mean he's a great coach, but there's still a merit to it. Does that make sense? I've been trying to think of how I was going to say this for 2 days. I don't think.
I mean, they're.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say. I said the same thing on Tuesday when we were talking about Nick Sirianni. Like, I may not see it. I may not appreciate his style. Right? Everybody knows how we felt about him. After seeing him at the combine, just be yuck back there with his cronies. I was completely out. Thought this guy's worthless. But the more and more the season went on, and the more I heard his players talk about him, and then when I stood there face to face, with guys like Zach Bond, who would just open up about Nick Sirianni and how he is the heart and soul of the team. And I get it; they're supposed to say nice things, but they don't have to say that nice of things, right? They don't have to say the things that they say about him. There has to be some truth to it. So getting the respect of your players, I think, has a lot to do with you being a good coach in the NFL.
Can I I want to make a parallel to Sirianni. So Jason McElreath, great listener of the show and a good friend of mine. Anytime we talk about Sirianni, we wind up in a text conversation back and forth. And I've never really been able to explain what it is that I'm saying about Sirianni. I'm not saying that Eagle fans should feel the way about him that I do. I'm not. I understand why you love him after last year. Because with the mixture of Saquon and A.J. Brown and dealing with the personalities, there were a lot of things that could have gone really badly on that sideline. And Sirianni handled it. I'm not sure everybody could have done that. The problem is that I don't look at Sirianni as outside of player management. I don't think he does a whole lot well. When the Eagles have been good, he's had Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen and Vic Fangio. And then when those guys went away, I watched the most clueless, cluster of Philadelphia Eagles that I've ever seen. And as a fan, that would drive me nuts. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. And I started thinking about that. And there was only one coach that I could really comp it to. And I wanted to say this to you because you can speak to this probably better than anybody. It's John Gruden. It's the exact same tenet as John Gruden. When things were right and the defense was set up and he could just handle the offense, things were hunky-dunky. But if you go back through his career, that was not much of it. He was, and I know he drove you crazy at times.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think maybe you can explain that better than I can.
Well, because it regressed. You know, once you started, I don't know, you can't keep a team together forever, right? And just going back to that Super Bowl team, it was the end of the run, right? Guys were getting older. Guys were coming up for contracts. And remember, we went through, or I say we as like Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, like we went through having to watch the departures, right? Warren Sapp go to play for the Raiders, and John Lynch go to the Denver Broncos, and piece by piece it just fell away, and there never was an identity. Like, he got the best out of a mediocre offense, but then there was no follow-up. There was no, I brought in my own guy, and here away we go. It was, let me see how long I can keep this crap just piecemealed together. I could not stand the fall that went, because, of course, we all convinced ourselves, well, this is where we're at now. We're contenders now. We finally won a Super Bowl, and now we have a championship pedigree. And it wasn't to be.
And your answer on that was exactly what I was.
Year after year.
Your answer on that was exactly what I was looking for. And now I'm going to tie it back to what we started this with. That's why John Harbaugh is so impressive to me, but sometimes he gets diminished in one-offs. John Harbaugh's handled everything from pillar to post. He's had a bad roster. He's had a really good roster. He's had a young quarterback twice, Flacco and Lamar. He's had an experienced quarterback. He's had an aging quarterback. He's had everything under the sun, and the result always stays the same. Now, he's only got one Super Bowl, which would be a diminish there, but not much of one because he still has one. But the situation has always stayed the same no matter what he was in. And I always compared him to Mike Tomlin. I have him significantly ahead of Tomlin now, and I'll tell you why. Tomlin has kind of the same thing. He's gone young quarterback, old quarterback. The difference is there's no high side. I never look at Pittsburgh as a Super Bowl contender. I think Baltimore's a Super Bowl contender every single year. They don't necessarily get there, but they're a threat. Kansas City looks at them, Buffalo looks at them and goes, we have to go through them. They don't look at Pittsburgh that way. So Harbaugh just stays ahead of Tomlin. That makes you a better coach long term. I don't necessarily know that I would pick you to be my one-off winner. I hope that made sense. That's the best way I could come. I walked that through step by step of, please say what I'm wanting you to. Because if you don't, it's really going to make this hard. And I knew if I used Gruden, I would get there.
Oh, sure. It's a great example to use.
I think John Harbaugh long-term is, I would say he is closer to an Andy Reid than people want to acknowledge. The only thing is that Andy Reid has had this run where he's been to multiple Super Bowls in a short period of time, won several of them. Harbaugh hasn't had that, which is what's going to differentiate them. But in terms of how I view them, I think they're closer than most would think.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Back in the Ingles studio after this.
Our iHeartRadio music.
Yeah, we're clear.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there. The delay is killing me.
September 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
Only on Hulu.
Try to reconnect because you're clipping out a lot.
AXS.com. Capital One Radio Music Festival. Bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Some people just know they can save hundreds on home and auto insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your house sitter has the new code first, before leaving for vacation.
System lockout.
But that's the code!
Contacting authority.
Oh, I'm out of here.
Oh, seriously, the car too?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a home and auto bundle that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Who are the 25 greatest football players to grace the gridiron since the year 2000? Introducing NFL Daily's top 25 players of the last 25 years. Join me, Greg Rosenthal, and an all-star cast of media personalities, including Mina Kimes, Steve Weish, Kevin Harlan, and more, for a look at football's best since the turn of the century. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal, and listen now.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful.
Dang, I just went to the door. They're working on the power here. I'll bet you that's the problem.
Guide you every step of the way.
Oh, maybe.
We had a huge storm over here last night, and the power company is right down the hill working on stuff, and I'll bet you their connections are messing with mine.
Maybe it.
Realty at 828-774-6343.
Not a common problem, but anytime they show up here, my internet runs way slower.
Making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got... Am I clipping coming down to you is the question.
No, you're clear to me.
Cheese, pulled pork. That's weird.
But see, we've got three layers.
Why it would go one way, not the other?
Well, see, we've got three layers, so they'll always be able to hear me appropriately on YouTube unless something's really, really wrong. Dana said I'm good there. You're coming down the brick, and the brick would be hurt by my internet connection.
Need to whip up a dessert?
And it just started like, I don't know, 20-something minutes ago.
The experts from the Ingalls table take you through it step by step.
And I know they weren't out there at 12:30.
Along the way.
Right.
I had to go get a package
That's
at the
what I'm
door,
saying.
and I looked
but
out the window.
if you're clipping coming to me, I would expect that I would be clipping coming to you.
You're not coming to me, but Steven said that you were. So, oh no, Dana said you were fine. I don't know. Technology's weird.
It is very weird.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Back on ESPN Asheville, it is the Sportsocracy. It's a threadbare Thursday afternoon. We're talking coaches, top of the league. Jim Harbaugh, better X's and O's coach than John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, better CEO than Jim, which is not even close because Jim's not. He's not that guy.
No, he's not the program builder. Even
right, like
even with Michigan.
Right, you were saying he wears out his welcome. Well, it's, sure. I mean, early in his career, he didn't stay in one place much longer than he did because he was climbing the ladder, right? San Francisco was where we found out, oh, wait, he doesn't get along with a lot of people very well. And then Michigan, I think that more than personality had a lot more to do with the fact that he wasn't winning. And then once he was allowed to cheat, they started winning.
Well,
So.
the cheating is always Harbaugh, but he finally got it right at Michigan. The only problem is once he got it right at Michigan, he had a whole lot of alphas. There were a lot of alphas on that staff, and it started to grind. And I'll be honest with you, the year before they won the national title, I was already looking around going, if he gets an NFL offer, he will take it. I thought it was going to be Minnesota, not L.A., but I could just tell. I'm one of those people. I know what that looks like when you've got personalities that are clashing. I work well with people that are, I don't want to say deferential. You and I are a good example. You and I have a perfect division of labor when it comes to doing this show, because you have skills that I don't, and I have skills that you don't, and we just trust each other infinitely. That's the reason that you and I will be able to do this show until we're both 80 years old. Right. Because there's never a question of, well, are you carrying your weight? Or are you carrying your weight? No, we just do our individual things, and it works famously well. That's why you and I never argue. In previous employments of mine, where we're all doing the same job, I had a lot of arguments because I would get angry at people that didn't do things my way. Mm-hmm. It's just who I am. Jim Harbaugh is kind of the same way. John is not that way. John's like, you know what? There's 800 ways to cook this chicken, and I don't really care if it's grilled, blackened, fried, boiled, poached. I don't really care as long as we win. Mm-hmm. And there's an art to that.
Yeah. When you get to the top of any power ranking, we obviously talk about this all the time. You're splitting hairs, right? When we're inside the top 5, or in our case, in the top 6 coaches in the NFL, and I go down and I say, okay, Andy Reid is number 1 by default. Sean McVay's number 2 by default. And to me, John is number 3. Jim is really good, but I've also never seen him beat his brother. So until that happens, he will remain at 4. That's on my list.
Okay, and I don't love that argument. And so he's never beat his brother. Okay, he was in the NFL for 3 years, 4 years with San Francisco. Mm-hmm. 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 They only played twice. He's been with the Chargers for a year. I mean, he's been in the league for 5 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
John's been with Baltimore half of my life.
Yep, he has.
I'm not huge on head-to-head. I know that sounds stupid, but there's a lot of things that go into that. Mm-hmm. And by the way, none of this has been a diminishment of either one of them, and I hope that's clear.
No.
They're both in my top 4 overall. And my 1 and 2 are, I think, 2 of the smartest offensive minds ever.
To ever live.
Then once you get past that, it gets a little more, yeah, there are warts, but which ones are the warts I can deal with?
Right. Right. I am still a little surprised that Vrabel was in your top 5.
Why is that so surprising to you?
I just never. I mean, I thought he was a good coach, but I never thought he was that good of a coach.
I love a coach that can do more with less. Mm-hmm. I always felt like Mike Vrabel was doing more with less.
Yeah. I mean, like having Mike Vrabel ahead of Pete Carroll is crazy to me.
Pete Carroll's 73 years old. And look.
Oh, I get it.
If we're talking career legacy, okay, now we're talking. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's right.
And I love Pete, but you got to understand what made Pete so successful with USC and with Seattle was he was there forever, and he built a culture. Does he have long enough to build a culture with the Raiders? I mean, he's 73. What's he going to do? Is he going to do this until he's 82? I don't know that he can do that. I don't know that in a one-off. I mean, you also got to remember, I've known the name Pete Carroll since 1994 when he was with the Jets. So There's a lot of things to Pete. But the age is what pushed him down. I don't know how long he's going to be here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. I mean, the way that Pete obviously takes care of himself, he could do this for another 10 years.
Well, I mean, he's only 46 years. He's actually reverse Benjamin Button. I don't know if you knew that or not. He's only 12 years old.
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen a picture of him yet that has made him look like he's over 70. So,
well, he was born at 97 years old, and he's just regressing backwards.
It's ESPN Asheville. We will be right back. It'll be time for, time to get weird.
ESPN Asheville.
We're clear.
Tank, I think you're going to love my weird story.
Into the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to be in the forecast.
It's about
and
cheese.
Maybe some heavier rainfall in spots, maybe an isolated stronger storm.
Cheese.
Cheese.
The best chance is going to be east, 85. Tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight, partial clouds.
I can go find some coffee. I'll be right back.
Friday morning, fog,
that's a
maybe
good
shower.
idea.
Likely showers and thunderstorms midday into the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel,
Coffee
meteorologist
does
Ray
sound
Staging.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's store. And right now, you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. So don't wait. Find a location at macysbackstage.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
See things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingles studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. Time to get weird, and Jeremy, there's another I got to do another PSA here, just for maybe any young people that may be listening, or for parents who may want to try to talk some sense into their stupid ass teenagers. There's a new TikTok challenge going around the country, sweeping the country, if you will, and it has got almost, I would say, every law enforcement entity, division, whatever, out on the PR trail trying to tell people don't kill kids. The latest TikTok challenge is that the TikToking teenager will have somebody filming while they come up to your front door and kick it in and then run, like ding dong and ditch kind of thing, only with a whole lot more physical violence and a whole lot more, holy crap, get my gun, Bertha. I can only imagine that there is going to be disaster because of this. I am dreading the day we get the first story of they were trying the stupid kick in the door TikTok challenge and so got a hole put in his chest.
Yep. That could very easily happen at my house. I don't know if you know this about Jeremy, but if you decide that you want to do this at my house, first of all, reinforced door, probably not going to work out your way. But if it did, I'm never more than 6 feet away from a bang bang anywhere in my house. So, fo.
That's the only thing you're hoping for. You're just hoping that you kicked in the door of some fat, slow man like me that's not going to be able to react quick enough. But you are playing literally with firearms in this scenario, and I do not recommend it. So if you have TikToking children or cousins or whoever in your life, tell them this ain't the one. This ain't the one to try. Go try to eat a Tide Pod. Take your chances with that more than I would trying to kick down somebody's door in Candler.
Fee, fi, fa, fo, I wouldn't kick on the fat man's dough. My story is about cheese. I liked it. My story is about cheese. Tank, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome is cheese?
I would say it's at least a 9.3.
I will say it's at least a 76 because cheese is awesome. Except there's one that I'm not a big fan of. The blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Gross. Gross.
Love the Gorgonzola, though, don't you?
No, I don't. The Gorgonzola and blue cheese are the same thing. Just
exactly.
Anyway, I'm not.
That's where I exploded the whole blue cheese is gross thing in my house. Was my wife insisted for years, I hate it, it's so gross, it's bad. And then we go out to, I believe we were at the Stony Knob Cafe one day, and she got the Gorgonzola pasta. And boy, howdy, that stuff just disappeared. Just yum in my tummy. And I waited till she got finished to break the news to her.
She didn't know that?
She did not know that.
Huh. Yeah, that's blue cheese is a no-no for me because I can't get it. I can't smell things well. Like I don't have I guess because I smoked for so long and I have allergy issues. Mm-hmm. I don't have a real good sniffer. But blue cheese to me smells like garbage. And I can't get over it. I don't even know how it tastes. I don't need to. It smells that bad. Anyway, There is a special kind of cheese. A Cabreras cheese? It's a Spanish kind of blue cheese.
Mm-hmm. I'm in.
Well, it has now broken the record for the most expensive piece of cheese ever sold. It was made by Angel Diaz Herrero Cheese Factory, aged for 10 months in a Los Mesos cave. Sits about a mile above sea level. They chilled it in the cave because it's cold up there. And then they auctioned it off. It was purchased by a restaurant called Iagar de Coyote. How much did one block of this cheese cost?
How much is a block?
A block is. I'm looking at it's like a normal wedge of gigantic cheese. Like, I'll say about the size of a keyboard.
Okay, so like a wedge of a wheel?
Yeah, like a wedge. There you go.
Okay. All right. Jeez, there's no telling. I'll go $10,000.
It sold for €36,000, which is $42,232. Wow. For 2.3 kilograms of this cheese, which is Greene. I'll stick with the Colby Jack.
I'm gonna have to, pray to the gods that I get to try this cheese at some point. It must be fantastic.
I'm gonna go that it's not. It's Greene. It is a big piece of mold that you bought for $42,000.
The color doesn't matter.
It does. Nah, dog. It does. Because I got news for you. If you go into your refrigerator right now, you pull out the sliced cheese. You should be going Boar's Head, which you're getting at your local Ingles supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. That's how you do that. Mm-hmm. If you pull that out and it's got Greene on it, it goes into the garbage. I never really get to see that because cheese doesn't last that long in my house. Gross.
There's a difference. There's a difference, though. I mean, one is just molded in your fridge. The other one, I mean, it's classically molded, right? It's molded with care.
I don't do.
I didn't sell you on that, did I?
I don't do mold. It's no. That's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, but I mean, the best cheeses are.
I almost said something really horrible right there, and I'm going to say it in the chat. Away!
Okay. Jeremy, on this Threadbare Thursday, which, by the way, if you've got a topic that you'd like discussed on the program, hit us up in the YouTube comments. With that, just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that gets you into the chat. Alex was the one earlier in the program that had asked about the next up coaches. So, like, who's the next class of head coach candidates? Was the question. I mean, is there a superstar waiting in the wings somewhere?
A superstar?
Right, like we imagine Ben Johnson is going to be that guy for this year's class. So is there a Ben Johnson waiting out there that can flip a franchise?
I don't really I mean, there were a couple names that came to my mind when you said that. Frank Smith from Miami is the one that it kind of screams at me because there are a lot of people that think he's actually the cog that runs all of those things.
Yeah, but then he gets the blame for last year, doesn't he? And if this goes south, that's not going to be good on his resume.
Well, okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Frank Smith's the one that's really dedicated to running, which is something that McDaniel really didn't do. And it almost feels like there's kind of a tug of war there. So I don't think he deserves the blame, but he might get it. Mm-hmm. In terms of anybody, I mean, I really kind of look around the NFL and just go, man, we're at a bad time to be looking for a new head coach. I mean, because is there one that you're jumping up and down about? Anytime I'm getting to Greg Roman as quickly as I'm getting to Greg Roman, it's thin.
Yeah, I can. I hear that. No, I mean, I'm trying to think. Who's the guy up in Kafka? Kafka was one of the ones that was, he's had his name thrown around for years.
I love Kafka. I do. I love Mike Kafka.
But until he coaches for a winning team, does that not hurt his chances?
It depends on how good he is in the interviews. It's odd that I've now had the same kind of discussion like 3 times in a week. It's not just, hey, I coached with a winner. There are bad coaches on good teams. And I think that's one of the reasons that we go through this process where guys get, and I swear I don't mean to keep heaping on this guy, Liam Cohen.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the error in judgment that people are making there. The offense was good. That doesn't mean it was his doing. Just because he's the one calling the plays, hell, Baker Mayfield could have been checking off 40 plays a game. We don't know the answer to that. I think it's an error in judgment to go only that good coaches never have losing seasons or mediocre seasons. And if your record is really good, then that means you have to be a great coach. Mike Kafka took an opportunity where it arose. He was tied to Daboll. He had been in Kansas City. He knew the chances of getting the big job in Kansas City was not really there. So he took a coordinator job when he could. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. I don't hold what's happened in New York against him because they don't have any players. I still think Mike Kafka's a really smart guy. I just look around the league and go, there's not a lot of names that I'm excited about. And I'll tell you what that makes me think. Don't be shocked if you start seeing college guys. I thought that could happen this year because there weren't a ton of really good qualified candidates. I look to the college ranks and go, man, there are a lot of guys that I could really easily see ending up in the NFL one day.
Okay, like who?
Lincoln Riley's the first one off the top of my head. And he's a good example. I don't think Lincoln Riley's a bad coach. I heard you said something yesterday to Chris Womack about him, and not going to lie, sitting in my new little Greenville de facto office, there was some yelling. You couldn't hear it, but I was yelling. Mm-hmm. That Lincoln Riley I don't think Lincoln Riley's a college coach. I don't think he plays this game well because I don't think he understands how to play this game. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach. He's had a lot of success with quarterbacks, and there's a reason for that. There's a lot of reason quarterbacks want to play for him. He's a pretty innovative guy. The problem he's had at USC is he doesn't coach a defense. So he's beholden to what he can hire. And frankly, I don't think a ton of really good qualified defensive coaches are looking to be on the other side of an offense that scores the way his does. When it's going the way it's supposed to. Lincoln was really high on my list. Ryan Day has always been pretty high on my list because I see how you're going to get there. I see how an NFL team is going to get to that point with a guy that's as young as Ryan Day is.
But could he be a good NFL coach?
I don't know. I don't know. That is one of the hardest things to project in all of sports because the games are, yes, they're getting more similar, but they're still different. Mm-hmm. Ryan Day does the CEO thing really well, and that makes me think he could be that kind of coach in the league. Conversely, Dabo Swinney's a good college coach. I think he'd be a terrible NFL coach. But, I mean, you go down the Kirby Smart, same thing. People talk about him taking an NFL job, and I laugh out loud, usually directly in front of them. Kirby Smart's not an NFL head coach.
Because he has too much rah-rah in him? Is that what that's about?
He has a lot of rah-rah to him. And also what Kirby Smart does so well is he gets the most out of 19, 20-year-old kids. He's really good at accumulating talent. He's really good at hiring. That works in college football. In the NFL, if you're really good at hiring, cool, you better be real good at it because you're going to get pilfered a lot. He hoards talent.
Right,
I don't necessarily think I don't think Kirby's a great – I think he's a good defensive coach. Might even be a great defensive coach. I think he's a great recruiter. Well, you go to the NFL and you're completely neutered in that. The thing that got you here, you don't do.
Right.
But that's why I look at somebody like Marcus Freeman. I don't think Freeman's a great recruiter. I think he's a really good coach. Mm-hmm. I could see him in the NFL. I could see Steve Sarkisian in the NFL, to be really honest with you.
All right, so maybe maybe that is where the next wave comes from.
Oh, and Matt Campbell, who I also heard you talking about yesterday, and I sent a text to Chris Womack that he wouldn't read out loud. That made me sad.
Why?
I sent him a text that said Matt Campbell is like the head cheerleader in my high school. Gets to third real fast, but never crosses home plate. He wouldn't say that out loud, and I was real sad about it.
Oh,
he sent me a text that said you're the king of similes, and I said, then why won't you say it out loud?
Yeah.
He's such a pro, and I'm such a child. I love that part of the back and forth between he and I.
He is. If only we had the capability to do the YouTube stream when he's here.
You will very soon.
You could see how hard his eyes like either light up or roll to the back of his head when I start doing things like Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue has the best balls in town. And he just, oh God, here we go. He's doing it again. He's doing that spot again. But I'll continue to do that spot.
I am glad you
as long as Bears continues to have the best balls in town.
I'm glad you brought that up. You will have the ability to, before the football season starts, you will have the ability to do YouTube in that studio.
Oh, good.
Now, how that's all going to work,
good.
I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting, getting into the role, and I haven't asked all of the questions yet. Of, hey, how do we do that? You deal with what we asked you to first, and then we'll work on that project next.
Right. Teams in the NFL that are still searching for a coach, like the long-term solution. I feel for you because it's a lot like trying to find that quarterback. Because once you get a hold of it, you're not going to let it go. I mean, I thought it was stupid when the San Francisco 49ers made the decision to get rid of Jim Harbaugh those years ago. Like I don't know what you're doing. Whatever, y'all can work that out some way, somehow. For the sake of winning, you would think you'd be able to make any differences that you have work out. But there again, if I'm the owner and he's ticking me off, I ain't dealing with it. I will go find somebody else. Because I don't have to put up with your BS. But when you can find that combination of good ownership, good coach, good quarterback, you find a GM that can come in and make some big moves, I'll say it again. You stare right in the face of a franchise that's completely turned things around, like the Washington Commanders. You have so many examples of coordinators in this league that have already gotten their shot, that I don't know that that's a very robust pool of candidates anymore. I mean, eventually, I think like guys like Cliff Kingsbury, he's probably going to get another shot because there's almost no way I believe that this flames out before he gets that opportunity. Someone's going to look at Cliff Kingsbury and go, that's the guy. Whatever it was, he didn't have it in Arizona, he can have it with us. Because Jaden Daniels and company just set it on fire for it. But then there are other guys like, Doug Peterson. I'm good. We've already seen that a couple of times. And I don't think you're getting another bite at the apple. Do you?
It's so hard for me to say that it's hard for me to say that certain guys aren't going to get another bite. Because so many have that I never saw coming. And we were talking about that with Daboll the other day. And I said, no, he would never get another shot. And then I looked around for this very topic of, okay, who's the next in the line? I could easily see a team getting to Brian Daboll if they don't hit 1, 2, and 3, and Daboll was 4. And it's just, I don't know, we're in a weird time with coaches where, I've railed on Jacksonville for hiring Liam Cohen, but then I look around and go, who else were they supposed to hire? Mm-hmm. Do I feel great about Cliff Kingsbury after a year in Washington? I always thought Cliff was a good coach that had cast himself poorly, made some mistakes, and probably would be a good coach the second time. Okay. I don't know that, and there is a risk to that. And it's really hard to get a fan base excited about a retread. But I don't know where the coaches are supposed to come from.
I mean, you do have you do have some interesting names,
such as
David Shaw is a name that's been passed around a lot, and now he's in the league, right? So if he comes in and he keeps the ball rolling and wins a Super Bowl or helps the Detroit Lions win a Super Bowl, I can see a guy like that popping back onto the radar of getting another shot.
There's something about David Shaw that just, he's interviewed for 10,000 jobs. He never gets them. Everybody thinks he's a great coach. Why did he sit on the sideline for 2 years? Like after he left Stanford, why did he not get another job? He's interesting to me. I think he's a great coach. And he's younger than you think.
How old is he?
52. I thought David Shaw was legitimately 65 years old. Then I read a story that he played for Bill Walsh, and I went, wait a minute. Oh, wait. That was in the early 90s. I did the math forward and went,
that was 1994.
Oh, he is younger than I thought he was.
Yeah. It is wild looking through this. I'm just looking through like a comprehensive list of all the coaching staffs in the NFL. I didn't realize Mark Trestman's back in the league. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He is. He's a senior offensive assistant for Jim Harbaugh, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. They had a relationship in the past.
Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, at 1400. Final hour of the program coming on the way.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
That did surprise me for a minute because I thought Mark Trestman died.
To the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to
No, sir.
I swear to you, I thought he died.
Stronger storm, and again, it looks like that best chance is going to be eaten.
Nope.
Tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms early.
Oops.
Overnight, partial clouds with some fog by morning, 65. Friday, morning fog, maybe a shower. Likely showers and thunderstorms midday into the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Once you're $1,000 richer after you win bonus bucks, you'll have to decide on whether you'll tell everybody.
Taquan Underwood is the assistant wide receivers coach in Dallas.
Win $1,000 on ESPN Asheville. Is your truck wimpy, trailer barely hanging on, shed crumbling? Leonard Truck Outfitters, the largest truck outfitters in the Southeast, supercharges your gear. Rugged bedliners, hardcore truck accessories, top quality trailers, and sheds built to last. With over 100 locations and years of experience, visit LeonardUSA.com.
Dre Bly's the assistant defensive back coach for the Jets.
As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community.
I remember you telling me about that.
Ranger.
Yeah, I met him at the combine. We talked about
Ranger
Nate for
offers
15
the
minutes.
professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can...
I didn't see that Eric Bieniemy had joined Ben Johnson's staff.
Ranger.com or just stop by. Ranger, for the ones who get it done.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed.
And J.T. Barrett is his quarterback's coach.
Yep.
Custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price.
J.T. Barrett was literally a quarterback's coach in the
Whatever you, your team, or your local group may need.
An offensive analyst.
Screen printing, embroidery, and laser
5 minutes
engraving.
after he
Visit
retired.
MTN Graphics AVL.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was with the Saints, I think.
That's MTN Graphics AVL.com or Showtime Sports AVL.com for your local one-stop.
Marquez Tuiasosopo is with the Lions now. Ever to hit Cox Avenue.
And his son's a big recruit in this class.
Saturday, August 9th from 2 to Tuiasosopo?
Yep. He's got a son that's quarterback.
2,700 hot dog. Nice. Royal.
I can't remember his name.
Hosted by Food Stars, The Vulgar Chef, and The Food in My Beard with local celebrity judges and comedians from the Asheville Comedy Festival, all for a good cause, supporting Link for Life's free mental health counseling for Asheville's food and beverage workers. Tickets are on sale now.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned at desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
For the 2025 Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The mountain's home for the Braves on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things!
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat. The Ingalls Living the Dream Tour rides again, Jeremy Greene.
It does.
There will be a season 2 of
Part
the Living
2.
the Dream Tour. And is it
bigger?
Is it time to start
better?
Unveiling some of the details here?
I mean, I think we could give a little taste of things that we're gonna do.
Okay. Well, since I always give too much information away, I'll let you take the lead.
Well, I mean, I think we could probably disclose that we will be adding something to this year's tour that we've never done before. So I'm going to give a little backstory because I told this in the Discord, and everybody went, that made a lot of things that you never explained make a lot of sense. So last year, right before the flood with Hurricane Helene, I took a week off in the middle of the season. And a lot of people thought that was really strange, and I couldn't at the time really explain why I was doing that. Well, part of the reason is that one of my closest friends is a guy named Cole Davis. He runs Autism Strong, which is a charitable foundation in Asheville helping families with children that have autism. He also has just started a shuttle company called Appalachian Motor Coach. So they do weddings and stuff like that when you need a lot of people transported at one time. You can find them online at AppalachianMotorCoach.com. So he and I had started discussing ideas. Cole and I have been friends for 25 years. One of the most genuinely good people you'll ever meet. He's also a stick of a golfer and likes to bring his not great golf playing buddy with him to tournaments and go, "Hey, look, we won. I did nothing. We had 4 guys. You really played with 3 because I'm not good at this anymore." Anyway, when he bought Appalachian Motor Coach, we started discussing ways to integrate the two things. Well, one of the things that we came up with was he is a big football fan just like us. So we wanted to find a way to use his shuttle buses for a football purpose. So he bought a 14-seater Mercedes-Benz van that's got a big television in it and seats, and it's got all of the things. Tank, you've seen it. Tell the people.
It's very nice. Yes.
It's super
Very
sweet.
nice.
So in the fall, we're going to pick a handful of games. I know that there will be at least 2 Carolina Panther games on this. There will be at least 1 Atlanta Falcon game. I think we're going to try to go to South Carolina as well. One of the Panther games will be the Buffalo Bills at the Panthers on October the 26th. And we will be taking fans with us. So like has been done in Asheville before, we're going to try to do it in a slightly different way. For a flat rate, you will be able to meet us at a pickup spot. We'll pick you up in Asheville. We'll drive you to Charlotte, go through the game, do the tailgate with us, and then we'll bring you back. And all of the beer and soda pops and the food will be included. And you can go tailgate and live the dream with us. It's an element of this tour that I'm really, really excited about. Because I live by a simple philosophy. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. And that's a lot of what we want to do this year. We're doing some really cool events. We will start announcing actual dates later this month. Wait till you see the opening weekend. That's going to be a long week. And when I say a long week, I mean a long week. Mm-hmm. But we want your input on what games you would want to go to. We want to know what you would be interested in. So we're going to put this up on the social medias. We have a graphic with our logo, with Appalachian Motor Coach, and we're just going to ask the question, what games would you like to go to? And if you don't have an answer of like a specific game, just tell us more the kind. Do you want to go to college games? Do you want to go to NFL games? Do you want to do a big trip to the draft? We're very open on all of these things. We have solidified the schedule. We're trying to figure out how many games to do. Ron Rogers said division games. 3 of the games we have locked in right now are divisional games. I will tell you there is a Falcons-Panthers game. The only question is it in Atlanta or is it in Charlotte? That's the part we haven't figured out yet. Putting in work said Clemson, South Carolina. Tank, could you ring the bell, please? That one is also being discussed.
Is that one in Death Valley or is that in Columbia?
No, that's in Columbia. That's in Columbia in December, so it won't be 506,000 degrees.
That could be a lot of fun.
We want to, so we learned a lot the first year doing this. We had never done this before, and I think now I can be totally honest, and Tank, you can chime in here if you would, on anything that you would like to chime in here. Last year, we were flying 100% by the seat of our pants.
Yes.
We're not quite doing that the same way this year. We started building the schedule for this in February? Mm-hmm. As soon as we knew the order of college games, we were already efforting things. When the NFL schedule came out, we had to tinker with some stuff. And then we've been working on getting everything sponsored and making sure that all of the sponsors are happy and that we do what they want us to do. The good thing is we have outstanding, wonderful, amazing sponsors. Between Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, Clarissa Sells WNC.com, Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, they're all in for this year. You know, that is one thing that when I wasn't complaining per se. I was just in part of the offseason. I went, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do at this point. It's because all of our sponsors looked at us and went, yeah, do that again. You're good. You just keep doing that. And I went, wow, that took 3 months last year. It took 13 seconds this year. Okay. So I was able to really fixate more on the schedule. We're dealing more with the universities themselves. We have a pretty sizable announcement that we will make sometime next week with Ingles. Us and Ingles are doing we're doing a couple real big games where you'll be able to see us in some cool spots. And this is also a good time to announce that we will be bringing the Ingles tailgate team with us as well. So Clark and Susie Neal will be coming with us to, I don't know if it will be every single date. It will be a very large number. And so they'll be making food from the local Ingles at these tailgates, doing big tailgate parties. We're working on a couple grilling things, some really cool stuff that we're going to be doing in the fall. So, and this is another great time to just look into the camera and to our friends at Ingles, thank you for all that you do. You are wonderful people, and we would not be able to do any of this without you. Right. So if you love us, you should love them too.
Right. Not without Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville, the mobile studio, still getting us to where we need to go. You haven't ruined it by now, have you?
No, I'm taking it to
your latest vacation. Did you?
No, I didn't take it on vacation. We took Amy's car. Okay. I'm having it detailed tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm scared to death to wash it because I don't know what you can do. Like with the wrap, I don't know what I'm allowed to do because I don't want to knock somebody's logo off of it. So I've been washing it after rainstorms where it was already wet, and then just kind of bucket rinsing it off, which is little taxing for a car that's 9 feet tall.
It is. It's a little tough to do by hand. But the Parks Ford of Hendersonville Mobile Studio serving us right, as always. And, of course, Clarissa Sells WNC.com for her support, OG support since the very beginning of this little venture of ours. And then, of course, Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, which coming up on August the 9th, which is less than a month away now, Jeremy, it's going to be the big wiener party down at Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, 135 Cox Avenue. Jeremy will be a celebrity judge, and I will be participating on one of the competing teams known as Asheville's Okayest Wiener.
Yes, Asheville's Okayest Wiener team with you and the Podfather, Patrick Holt. And this would be a good time to say that, not that you need another reason to show up to the big wiener party, but there might be a show announcement coming up at the big wiener party.
Oh.
That has to do with Bears Smokehouse and us and the thing that you'll be able to do throughout the football season.
Excellent. And one thing that we know that you will be able to do throughout the football season is anytime you got a tailgate coming up, just regular, one-off lunch. Business lunches are great down at the patio there on Cox Avenue. Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. They have the best meat in town. And nothing says I love you like a whole basket of balls from Bears Smokehouse. The bear balls, the moink balls, you can't go wrong. BearsBBQ.com, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We shall return.
Now is the time.
Clear.
Braves country to
I really thought that you were about to say nothing says I love you like a really okay wiener.
Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Oh,
the
Lord.
Mountain's home for the Braves.
They pay us for this.
Asheville's
Do you ever just look around and think about that?
ESPN Asheville.
It's been over 2 years since Bobby Carpenter had
I do.
Not only did they pay us for this, they now ask you and I. They have tasked you and I
injuries, some lingering pain from stuff that I had been dealing
with the programming
professional football
on other networks than the one that we defecate on every single day.
Avoid surgery if you can.
And you absolutely can avoid surgery. QC Kinetics provides patients with state-of-the-art regenerative treatments, orthobiologics from your own body that help heal and restore damaged, aching joints. And we'll let Bobby tell you about that.
It was all of a sudden that one day, a couple months later, I was here, let's go jog, let's try to see what I could do. And the more I did, I was pain-free with it, and it was actually a pretty remarkable
You remember the day they let you go, and I said, let's just make a damn run at this and see if we can't have kill some time and have some laughs.
Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Who are the 25 greatest football players to grace the gridiron since the year 2000? Introducing NFL Daily's top 25 players of the last 25 years. Join me, Greg Rosenthal.
How long do I have here, Tank?
Cast of media personalities, including Mina Kimes, Steve White.
2 minutes.
Okay, I got to go get my phone charger. I'll be right back.
Football's best since the turn of the century. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal, and listen now.
Folks, I hope you're ready. Coming up next month, the best party ever to hit Cox Avenue. It's the Big Wiener Party at Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. Saturday, August 9th from 2 to 6 on the South Slope. 9 teams will compete, topping 2,700 hot dogs and only 1 Royal Wiener. Hosted by food stars The Vulgar Chef and The Food in My Beard, with local celebrity judges and comedians from the Asheville Comedy Festival, all for a good cause, supporting Link for Life's free mental health counseling for Asheville's food and beverage workers. Tickets are on sale now.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy at ESPN Draft Nerd. It's where you can find Jeremy Greene on the Twitter machine. At Sports Tank ESPN. If you want to hit me up as well, you can do so. Jeremy hasn't gotten into a real good fight online in a while, I don't think. Have I missed any action on the feed?
No, I haven't had any fights on our feeds. My personal ones I have.
Oh, well, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, the guy that he poo-pooed the Tudor's biscuits. I enjoy your content, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't talk smack about Tudor's, bro.
No. You definitely go to West Virginia and get you some fart biscuits. Those are delicious.
I mean, and I'm always very, very active on the Creed message boards, spreading the good word there.
Okay. So you're the one.
Oh, there are many of us, Tank. We are strong, and we are mighty.
You and Kid Rock. Real big Creed fans.
We are strong, and we are mighty. Gambit fan said Creed has message boards. Of course they do. When they were popular, AOL was a thing. They still have chat rooms, bro.
I was gonna say they got a special. They got a special section on AIM.
They have a lot of. They do have a lot of email addresses that end in @AOL.com.
Or netzero.com.
A lot of guys that
they
still
sell shirts that say "I got this on LimeWire."
A lot of guys that really miss the days of searching on AskJeeves.com.
How's that Hall of Fame campaign going for you, by the way? Are you still carrying the torch on that one?
Absolutely. Creed should no doubt be in the Hall of Fame.
Good for you.
No doubt.
Oh, geez. So, Jeremy, I was sitting in the car yesterday, and I was thinking, I'm not a betting man by any stretch of the imagination.
Me neither. I'd never do that.
But when I heard that there was a soul in this world that put $25,000 down on the Las Vegas Raiders to win the Super Bowl, I thought, well, this is just another example of somebody who's trying to hide something from the government. It's the only, or from their ex-wife. It's the only reason that I could come up with for somebody making such a hefty, stupid investment. Because there's zero shot of anything like that happening in the 2025 NFL football season. And we all know it. No matter how in the Raiders camp you could possibly be, I don't think you could convince yourself that that's a likely outcome.
Likely, no. I'm not notorious for. I don't take the deep flyers. Yeah, I got $10 on the New Orleans Saints to win the Super Bowl, plus 35,000. Nah, I'm good. I don't need to set $10 on fire.
Right. I can't imagine setting $25,000 on fire.
Now I will take.
Now, you do stand to win $2.5 million.
Now I will take some deeper cuts. I mean, I will tell you one of my favorite bets of this year is to take the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I am a big fan of that one because it's plus 2,200. The number's off. I like the Chargers too. They're both behind the Cincinnati Bengals, the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, and none of that makes a lick of sense to me.
That's not bad at all.
That's where I try to take futures bets. Now, look, If you do futures appropriately, you're going to hit about 15% of them. You're going to lose way more often than you win. But when you do hit one, I go back to Trayvon Walker and a handful of others that I've had over the years that were gigantic numbers. When you hit them, they pay quite nicely.
Mm-hmm. I'm still kind of shocked that the Houston Texans are plus money to win their division. I had to go back and check because I remembered us having that discussion a few weeks ago of the division winners. Like, who would you put your money on most to win their division?
Well, it's because their line's so bad. So people are worried. See, that's I'm glad you said that because that's a Vegas hedge of, well, if C.J. Stroud were to get hurt and we're rolling Davis Mills, they're not even the favorite in that division anymore. So you have to keep everything kind of tight. Mm-hmm. All right, let me ask you this. If C.J. Stroud were to get abducted by space aliens,
yes,
who would you favor to win that division?
I guess Jacksonville?
For me, it would be the Colts. But you could make the argument for all three of them.
But
for me, you could make the argument for all three of them.
Right.
So you got to keep that really tight because Houston's an injury away from throwing that into peril. And so then you get every Jaguar fan, every Colt fan, every Titan fan that's throwing a lot of money on it. And if the number's too high, like let's say they're where the Jets are at plus 1,800, you're looking at potentially having to pay off 18-1 to everybody that chucked that out there. That can hurt a lot because there's not another team. Conversely, if Lamar Jackson got abducted by space aliens, you still got the Bengals and the Steelers. I can put the Browns at plus 30 million. It doesn't matter because you're setting your money on fire. There's no chance they win that division. Mm-hmm. That's where future odds are really different. The NFC South is the same way. Tampa Bay's minus 105. I would say that's too high. I would think Tampa Bay would be about plus 175. Atlanta would be about plus 200. Carolina should be roughly plus 500. The Saints should be, I think they're a little low. They should probably be plus 2,000. But even the Saints are only plus 1,400 to win the division. Because if Baker Mayfield, Michael Penix get hurt, you could be paying off some tickets to somebody.
Somebody.
It's all about protection.
Because you got the. Well, then you would open the door to the Carolina Panthers.
Sure.
But I don't think you're getting to the Saints at that scenario.
No.
This isn't the Big 12, right?
No.
We don't typically have where, this team's going to be god-awful, and then they end up being great.
No, but you've also got to look at the hedge. So what if Tyler Shuck's actually really good? What if just in theory Tyler Shuck is really good and he makes it all the way through the year? No Baker Mayfield, no Michael Penix. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying I still wouldn't favor the Saints, but they're a lot more dangerous than we're looking at them being.
Right. Is there a path to an 8-9 division championship there?
And that's where you have to kind of hedge your bets.
And yeah, sure. I mean, it's happened in that division before, just a few short years ago. We had a losing record win that division, so I guess it could happen.
You started this with talking about the Raiders and somebody put money on them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, somebody put $25,000 on them to win the championship.
They're plus 2,000 to win the AFC West. Do you know how many teams in the NFL are longer odds to win their division than the Raiders?
Maybe one.
2, the Giants and the Browns. The Saints, the Tennessee Titans, the New York Jets all have a better chance to win their division according to Vegas than the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you see how stupid that sounded when I just said it?
that it sounded that stupid.
How much better are the Broncos than the Raiders right now?
I mean, I'd say they're better. Probably not markedly better, but
better, but not by much.
Not by much, yeah.
Okay, the Broncos are plus 300 to win the West. The Raiders are plus 2,000. Maybe you see where I have a problem with that.
Well, I feel that's dumb. Yeah.
See, that's with future wagers. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking for things that Vegas has just thrown the wrong number on. Do I think the Raiders are going to win the AFC West? No, I don't. Do I think getting over 6 times the odds on the Broncos to the Raiders is insane? I think Bronco fans would even tell you that. That's insanity. And the fact the Broncos are ahead of the Chargers blows my mind too, but that's a story for another day.
Yes, completely dumb.
That's where you have put the wrong number on something. I will take one of those. Maybe not that one specifically, but that is what I'm looking.
I was going to say you'll take a plus 2,000 to win the division.
I won't in that one because of how much I like the Chargers. See, to me, that's fully insulated because I do think the Broncos are fractionally better than the Raiders. I still think the Chiefs are the team to beat in that division, but I love the Chargers too. The Raiders would need nothing short of an act of God for that to happen, but that's still misnumbered. And there are a lot of those in the futures market. A lot of them with awards, a lot of them with win totals. Exact wins is something that I've become. I've got more money on exact wins this year than I've ever had before.
Okay. That feels like a bold strategy.
What, going exact wins?
Rather than just playing the over/under 6.5 game.
All right, let's play a game. Actually, we got to take a break. We got to take a break. I intended on doing this yesterday on Game On, but we'll do it here.
Okay.
You need a notepad of some kind.
Okay.
And after the break, we'll discuss a few of these. And they're teams that you and I have discussed in the past. And I think you'll understand why I'm saying this as soon as we do this.
All right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
On into the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to be in the forecast, and maybe some heavier rainfall in spots, maybe an isolated stronger storm. And again, it looks like that best chance is going to be east. 85. Tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight, partial clouds with some fog by morning, 65. Friday, morning fog, maybe a shower. Likely showers and thunderstorms midday into the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Appalachian Sitework Ready Mix Division.
From patios and driveways to slabs, footers, and retaining walls, Appalachian Sitework and their Ready Mix Division is ready to pour. Get high-quality concrete delivered right to your job site. Visit appsiteinc.com to schedule your next pour.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
Things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard... Oh, do you have a weird... Chainsaw brothers are still here, making
Crimes.
it happen the right way. Fair, insured, or crimes, yeah.
Yeah,
help call the
do.
Chainsaw brothers.
Do you?
Okay. 13. 3? Yeah.
Okay.
13. We're back in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and it is time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
Crimes. Always never a good thing. Never a good thing to do crimes. And, it's also, I'm going to go down the path again of how in the world did you get someone to convince you to do this? Port St. Lucie, Florida. The story of a woman named Rosa Mena. And Rosa is facing charges after police say she was running a med spa in a shed in her backyard. In May of 2025, a woman went to the Port St. Lucie Police Department claiming that she believed that she was the victim of an unlicensed medical professional who was operating an illegal med spa out of a shed. In her backyard, the victim told police that she experienced facial paralysis after getting an injection in said she shed in the back of this woman's property. Now, again, Jeremy, I go down, how did you get into this situation? At what point did your relationship or your interactions with Miss Rosa Mena end up with her saying, hey, you want some Botox? Why don't you come out to my garage and I'll fix you right up? I don't care what that looked like. Because there's a picture on the website here, on Fox 13's website, of the shed. I mean, it's a very nice shed, the finest of she sheds. And the pictures from inside show that it is set up much like a medical facility of some kind. There's monitors, and it looks like some kind of an ultrasound machine or something, and there's a massage table, which, again, I don't know how you walked in there and went, this is the place I need to get my face injected with disease. But that she did. But then after experiencing the facial paralysis and going back to the woman, and the woman said, oh, you know what? I'll refund your money. But you should probably come back and get more injections in your face for me to reverse the paralysis of the first injection. And I think it was probably at that point where the woman went to the police and said, I don't think she's legit. First, working out of the she shed should be your first clue of may not be legit. Second, when someone tells you that they have been a doctor in another country, that should probably be warning sign number 2. Like, I don't care if you actually were a doctor in another country. Are you a doctor in this country? is what I would like to know. And if the answer to that is no, then the chances are that I'm going to let you put bacteria into my face is nil.
You lose me at putting bacteria into my face.
Right.
I don't like the idea of botulism.
No, I don't either. It can serve a good medical purpose. I know that my wife has Botox injections for migraines, and they seem to really help her. So I know that there is benefit. There's medical benefit to getting these injections and stuff. It's not just about, oh, I'm older and my skin's sagging and I want to look better. There are actual uses for these things. But I think that should come from an actual doctor. When the police went to this med shed, as I'm calling it, they found medical beds, medications, vials, needles, fat sculpting machines. Don't know what that is. PRP injections, micro needling equipment, laser hair removal equipment, laser lipo machines, massage equipment, facial equipment, and injectable devices for fillers and Botox. This woman had, I get it, maybe it was a convincing setup. But the fact that it was at her house inside a she shed, I feel like that should have been the major warning sign.
I know you're telling a serious story here, and this really more explains my brain than it does anything. Why is it that I feel like, now that you've said the med shed 6 times, that a week or two from now I'm going to be looking on Airbnb and there's going to be a condo in Asheville called the Med Shed, which is a place where you go to do drugs? Do you know how much celebrities pay to go to a place to not do drugs? How much do you think they would pay for a place to do them?
To do drugs.
Hashtag med shed. I'm out on botulism. There's only one ism that I'm a fan of, and that's good old-fashioned American capitalism. And that kind of steers into my story. It's from ABC News San Jose. It's about a woman who goes by the pseudonym Kay. She, a handful of months ago, came home, and she found a very large, very heavy package in her driveway. It was addressed to her. She opened it. She had absolutely no idea what it was. She thought that was strange. She called Amazon. Amazon had no idea what she was talking about. She thought it was just a mistake. She threw the package away. Over the next handful of days, she continued to receive packages that were addressed to her home. She then realized that they weren't addressed directly to her home. She was the return address. An Amazon and Chinese online seller known only as Lasandian? They used her house as the return address for all of their merchandise. Well, it's a Chinese company, and you cannot contact the seller directly, which is a violation of Amazon policy. So now, this woman is getting dozens of very large packages a day brought to her house, and they won't stop. To the point of there are so many that they boxed her 88-year-old mother-in-law into the house and she couldn't get out.
Oh, my.
What do you, I mean, this is obviously a scam business. They had a slew of one-star reviews with complaints, mostly, where's my refund for this thing that was complete crap? And they've sent all of the return stuff to her house.
So she's getting boxes of broken stuff.
That feels like the world's grandest scam. We didn't tell you who we are. We shipped all of this crap out, and now we won't give you your money back. And, oh, by the way, you don't know our address because we sent it to some woman's house in San Jose. I haven't seen a long con that long since Kamala Harris. There we go. Told that story only for that one joke. Make them laugh, make them laugh. Dee, 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 dee.
Okay, so looking at NFL win totals for 2025.
Yes.
What you wanted to play a fun little game here, so I got my scratch piece of paper out.
Okay.
What are we doing?
All right. Do you have a marker of some kind?
I got my trusty pen.
Okay. You're gonna have to draw it real dark so we can see it on the YouTube screen.
Oh. Okay.
I should have mentioned he needed a marker and a pad. That was on me. My bad.
Yes.
I haven't slept well for 3 days, and I apologize. I left the beach, and I'm telling you, my allergies exploded, and now my face is on fire, and I cannot sleep. I lay down and just can't breathe, and I hate everything.
Oh, good Lord.
Sorry. All right, I'm going to say a team. I want you to write down the number of wins that you think they will have. I'm going to say my number, and I want to see how many times we agree.
Okay.
Do not show your number until I have said mine.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons. This is probably the number I am the heaviest invested in. Vegas has 8 at plus 425, 7 at plus 425, 6 at plus 475, 9 at plus 500.
Okay.
My number is 9.
Let the record show I'm holding a 9.
There it is. We're 1 for 1. That went exactly how I thought it would. My next one is the Carolina Panthers. Tell me when you have locked in your guess.
I have locked in my answer.
7.
Let the record show I'm holding a 7.
Ta-da! Make them laugh, make them laugh. The Denver Broncos.
Okay.
This is one of the harder ones. We may not agree on this one. Oh, and by the way, Carolina at 7 wins plus 390. You now have 2 sports ESPN radio hosts who have both told you, without pre-planning this, that we're on the exact same number. Let me know when you have an answer locked in for the Broncos. They are at 9. Is
my Broncos.
9 is at plus 400, 10 is at plus 400, 11 is at plus 450, 8 is at plus 500, and mine would be 8.
Okay. The record show I'm holding a 9.
We have disagreed on our first one.
Yes.
Now, here's what's funny about this one, and so far I'm 3 for 3 on exactly how this would go because I had a feeling you were going to go a game higher than me. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment between today and tomorrow. Go down the Denver Broncos schedule. I think you'll find that I'm closer with 8. Because I already did that, and it was really hard for me to get that 9th win because there were so many games for Denver where, and I'll pull it up and give you the example now. This is not me saying that I don't think they're a good team. I absolutely despise their schedule. They start with the Titans and the Colts. Then they go at the Chargers, Bengals, at the Eagles. They catch a 9:30 a.m. international game the next week against the Jets. Then they get the Giants and the Cowboys. That's the nice sweet spot. Then you go at the Texans, Raiders, Chiefs, at the Commanders, at the Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, at the Chiefs, Chargers. There are a lot of losable games in that. And when you look at what should be the quote-unquote easy wins for Denver, there's a lot of, it's on a short week. It's overseas. It's whatever the case may be. It's really hard for me to get to 9 with Denver. And when you start just really looking at it going, all right, I'll give them a win here, I'll give them a win there, I kept coming back to 8.
Yeah.
They play a lot of teams that have quarterbacks that are greater than Bo Nathaniel Nix III. I have two more of
even
these.
If you factor in the fact that they could get one win that they're not supposed to win, they also will probably lose one they're not supposed to.
Exactly. My next one is the Green Bay, Wisconsin Packers. 10 is plus 425, 9 is plus 425, 11 is plus 500, 8 is plus 500. I don't know that I've ever been more confident that we're going to say the same number here.
Okay.
Is your guess locked in, Mr. Spencer?
I've got my guess locked in.
8.
Let the record show I'm holding an 8.
An 8. We are batting 3 for 4 with one miss. And that one miss, I have a funny feeling when we start the show tomorrow, Tank's going to go, upon further reflection, I believe that Mr. Mullet may have actually indeed been 100% accurate.
Could be.
My final team is the Miami Dolphins. 7 is at plus 390. 8 is at plus 400. 9 is at plus 475. 6 is at plus 475.
Okay.
And before anyone accuses us of collusion, Tank, did I tell you we were doing this at any point in the pre-planning of the show?
No, you did not.
There we go. The Miami Dolphins, I am going with the number 7.
Let the record show I am holding 6.
Oh, you went lower.
I did go lower.
So Miami was still hit 3 for 5 there. The reason I went 7 with Miami is their schedule starts in a weird way. I think it's going to end poorly. Now, if you told me Tua Tagovailoa didn't play 17 games, which I always assume health when I'm doing this, that's one of those variables that there's no way for me to forecast, so I don't put it into a forecast. In the first 7 weeks, they play the Colts, they play the Patriots, they play the Jets, the Panthers, and the Browns. That's a nice ability for them to start hot, and then you look at the back of the schedule, and it's evil. So one of the few late wins I have them getting, if Tua Tagovailoa is not there, then 6 could be right. I'm locked in on a lot of exact wins.
Okay. I can see that. It really does give you some. I see that it gives you some decent odds there. Because what was 6 plus 500 or something for the Miami Dolphins?
Yes, it was.
See, meanwhile, I can get just under 7.5 for minus 121.
Exactly, but I make 5 times the money if I go on the exact number, and I feel really sure of all 5 numbers I just said.
Right. Okay, all right. I'd never considered trying to go all in on that one because of course, I will be wrong by a game on every one of them.
And I very well could be too. I don't do exact numbers very often. I just kept looking up and down it going, why is it that I feel really good about the 4th option in every single one of those?
Mm-hmm. Right. Although Dolphins under 7.5 wins feels pretty solid if you just want to take the layup there. It's not going to be astronomical odds that'll win you, $2.5 million if you put $25,000 on it. But it does kind of feel like guaranteed money.
The thing about wagering, especially in the NFL, it's the exact opposite of playing basketball. You can take layups. The problem is that you're going to miss more layups than you think. If you live on a steady diet of three-pointers, you're going to starve to death. Just take the 10-foot jumper. You're going to hit 70% of them. And that's what you really need to do to make a considerable amount of money.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Wrap it up for us on a Thursday afternoon. Join us here tomorrow on ESPN 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We will be here at noon. Coming up later on tonight here on ESPN Asheville, got Braves baseball, another one with the A's out in Sacramento. That is a 9 o'clock start tonight for the flyaway game there for the Braves. Keep it locked in. Thanks to our good friends at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, proudly bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Plus, just want to drop in another reminder, the Home Run Derby featuring Western North Carolina's own Cal Raleigh will be coming up on Monday right here on ESPN Asheville, and 8 o'clock airtime for that. 7 o'clock on Tuesday, we will have the full coverage of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We'll be back with you tomorrow right here at noon. See you then.
Asheville.
And we're clear.
Weather forecast.
Thanks, sir.
Hold into the afternoon, and a few showers, thunderstorms continue to be in the forecast, and maybe some heavier rainfall in spots, maybe an isolated stronger storm. And again, it looks like that best chance is going to be east. 85 tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight partial clouds with some fog by morning, 65. Friday, morning fog, maybe a shower. Likely showers and thunderstorms midday into the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you want the lowest price. With their lowest price guarantee, if you find a qualifying lower price on the same item, they'll match it. Price match applies to the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how they'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Once you're $1,000 richer after you win bonus bucks, you'll have to decide on whether you'll tell everybody or keep it to yourself. The winning happens every weekday, right here.
Win $1,000 on ESPN Asheville. Is your truck wimpy, trailer barely hanging on, shed crumbling? Leonard Truck Outfitters, the largest truck outfitters in the Southeast, supercharges your gear. Rugged bedliners, hardcore truck accessories, top quality trailers, and sheds built to last. With over 100 locations and years of experience, visit LeonardUSA.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now is the time for Braves country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Fly ball to deep right, way back and gone! Home run, Ozuna! Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station. ESPN Asheville.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step, with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is a great plan.
When events are happening,
these recent events,
you should plan on listening.
What should our involvement be in this conflict?
Talk about what I have planned.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Check in.
That's got to be the end state.
On News Radio 570, WWNC.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio,
WPEK Fairview,
WMXF Waynesville,
W225CJ Candler,
the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.